The next panelist is ID Cabasa. ID Cabasa is a music producer and singer. Olumide Ogunade, better known as ID Cabasa, has said he does not know how to manage artists, despite having worked with several successful artists over the years. So, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you our panelists. Please sit down and fasten your seatbelt with open heart to receive nuggets, wisdom, and insights in today's meeting. So, our first panelist takes the center stage.
Great. Thank you for coming. So the first question is to you, actually. And this is the question. So Hitler said, give me the music of a nation and I will own the minds of the youth. So my question, what role do you think the music industry has played in the chaotic culture across Africa? And how did we get here? Maybe you'd answer that and then I'll ask the second question so I don't bombard you with too many questions at once.
Okay, thank you so very much again. And thanks to Praise for actually inviting me over to this noble platform. So quickly, they actually sent me that question and I think the question in a way actually answers itself from what the writer said. So, but to break it down, to bring it more home, there is this proverb that we understood while we were growing up, where they say the piper dictates the dance. Now, if only what music dictates is the dance step, it would have been nicer, because what would have happened is people will just dance and forget their sorrow. But music does much more than that. I'm a musician. I've done music for almost 40 years now. If I look at where I started from in the church, but professionally, I've done it for more than 20 years now. So what I can readily say here is music is one of those subtle tools, arts of expression that people actually use to express most times what human beings want to express, but because of, should I use the word, what people will say, or sanity or morals, that they are not able to express. Music is also a tool that people also use to express good stuff. So like Praise was saying the other time, for me, I've had conversation and I've tried to tell people that music is neither good nor bad. It's all a function of what you use it for. So I think I will, for what demands from that particular quote, I want to actually build on the part of what is being used as from what you mentioned. You know, we were talking about peace, and when you look at peace, most of the time, I know today I was talking earlier today in church, and I was trying to differentiate between making peace and keeping peace. So for most conversations that we have when we talk, we try to make peace. I will try to keep peace rather. But in making peace means that you actually need to go to war. No wonder UNM, when they tell you that they want to go on a peacekeeping mission, they go to war. So which means keeping peace itself means that you actually have to bring any situation that you are trying to treat to the forefront. And people sit down to discuss them, to actually have understanding, like Praise rightly said. But for human beings, every time that we can sit down, which is what is happening around now, everything that we can't sit down to discuss with people for the fear of being judged, for the fear of being seen as mad, for the fear of being seen as insane, we put them in music. So the melodies are so sweet, they are so good, people enjoy them. And some parents will tell you that, okay, don't listen to this particular artist, don't listen to that particular artist. But you will tell kids not to listen, but they like the melody. So in a way, they will actually find a way to get to hear the music. So I've had conversations around, so how does these things, how do they add up to actually create chaos around us? That is, we call, like the music we listen to now, we call them popular music, which is called pop music. So music are not just sound. They are not just, they are used to actually cultivate culture. For instance, an artist will change his hairstyle. Before you say Jack Robinson, every other person is doing that same hairstyle. An artist will say a particular thing about a particular thing, and everybody is saying that is what it is. We live in the post-truth era where people believe what they feel more than what that thing is. So when Praise was actually speaking and he spoke about meaning, so somebody that is still trying to struggle with meaning in life, I remember I said, Praise actually took a whole lot of what I wanted to say earlier. So when he was speaking about some of those things, for music now, what happens with music is people put the ideologies, there is an agenda behind music, whether people like it or not, whether people know there is or not. People that make music, I'm in the secular system, like Nigerians will call them, though I just believe that I'm in the music space. I don't know whether it's secular or religious, but I actually do music and I work in all the sphere of it. And I will tell you that for every music that is released, there's an agenda for it. Whether consciously or unconsciously from the artist, they are influenced by what is going on around them. So, for example, the meaning we give to, and people spoke so much about meaning, the meaning we have given to being blessed, the meaning we have given to being seen as somebody of value, all of these things, they reflect in our music. People don't see resourcefulness as blessing, rather they see resources as blessing. So if I want to sing, rather than me to tell people to work hard and to do all of those things, I would rather start mentioning things that, I want to buy Bentley, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. Also, music, the way we use music, because of its emotional attraction that it gives, because of the emotional attraction that you get from music and the way it actually suits people, it's very easy to put salient messages in music that when you start listening initially, you will believe in your mind that you are not taking those things in. But trust me, it's like the fairy darts of the serpent. They are getting into you. The day you are ready to make decisions, you will make decisions out of them. Now, to quickly rush, I will now rush to the people making music. So I've said this online a lot of times that being famous or being a celebrity doesn't automatically make you wise. So we have ended up, because of the lack of meaning, we have ended up raising very influential fools that once they come online, they say all sorts of things that you will be shocked that people take, and they will tell you that is what it is. Now, how do we now use this same tool that I've actually mentioned a lot of ways that has been used strongly? How do we now use them? First and foremost, I would say that you don't try to kill the idea of popular music. Each time you try to kill the idea of popular music, it will grow. So what can first happen is for us to first replace the kind of music that we have now with the type of music that we think should be out. And how do we do this? We need to actually raise musicians, not just raise them musically, but also set up system structures and, things to back them up. Because like I said earlier, he who plays the pipe dictates the dance. The people putting money into the music industry determines a whole lot of things. That is why you will see a church guy that has been brought from the church into this system. You will tell them that, look, all my life, I want to do God's this. See, and we need to also understand that we are human beings first. We have spirits, we have a body, and all of these things, they have to be attended to. So don't always push people out from the religious point to say, when you get to do music, go and do religious music. No, people also want to enjoy it. That was why I said that the music, secular music that I do more, they want to speak what people will not say normally. People are more of the things that they hide than the things that you see. So we want to say some of those, let me say, passion that are inside us, some of those things that we want to express, that that if you express them normally, people will say, why are you behaving like this? But when you put them into music, they will say, Shebi is just music. But that Shebi is just music is what you don't know, that by the time you are caught unguided, you will start practicing those things. And in this, because we tell so much, I won't say they are lies, because we tell some things that are true, not necessarily truth, we try to also live that life. So if I tell you that this is what blessing is, so I want to show you what blessing is, and people will start living a fake life, and your teenagers, your kids, see them live this life, and they actually think that that is what life itself is supposed to be. There are so many other things, but I think I should just skip it at what I've said now, so that other panelists
Yeah,
can.
thank you very much.
Okay, now there was a question that was asked the Honorable Commissioner about why the government actually invites some artists that they know their songs are not good and all of that. So, like I was rightly saying the other time, that instead of us concentrating on why they are inviting those artists, let us also look at the need that the government wants to actually fulfill by calling those guys. So nobody wants to invite an artist that has a good song but that is not popular. Government is looking for popular figures. They are looking for influencers. They are looking for people that, even in churches don't call very anointed singers. They call the popular ones. So why not invest in, and I'm a Christian, there is a promise to Abraham in Genesis 12. He said, I will make your name great. If you read it from every other version, he said, I'm going to make you famous. So if we have an agenda to actually want to control what goes on with the kind of people the government want to invite, or the kind of people that we hear their song, I think there is going to be a need to deliberately invest in creating our own kind of influencers. And those influencers can be well funded up to a point that you might not be able to push out those other guys, but you will be able to push out the idea. Because at the end of the day, it is not really people that is faulty. It is the system in terms of ideas and values that they are putting out. So in order for us to put our values and all of the things that we wish to be out there, in order to put them out, instead of just saying this one is not doing it well, this one is this one is that, we might need to actually put our mind and focus into actually creating the kind of people to actually do what we want.
So rather than complaining, we create. That's what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that.